Hey guys, it's Andy. Today we're going to do a video about substrate. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's start off with bare bones from the very beginning. Let's talk about a bare bottom aquarium. Why do people pick a bare bottom aquarium? Well, one of the main reasons is that you don't have anything to catch waste. And when either the fish or the animals, whatever kind of waste is in the tank, you can literally go in and target that exact waste before it breaks down into ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. It gives you a very clean tank, but it also requires a good amount of maintenance. And also, a lot of large breeding operations use this method because they say it's just easier to keep clean. Another method of using substrate in your tank would be your peat gravel type. This is very common. When I say peat gravel, basically I mean any kind of gravels that are, around the size of a pencil eraser, maybe a little bigger, maybe even a little bit smaller. And this is a good substrate because it adds surface area to your fish tank. More surface area means more beneficial bacteria. That means the less that ammonia, nitrite, nitrate can affect your fish because the bacteria will help break down the waste. In this situation, I actually have matrix rocks. Some people used to use pumice stone, some people used to use lava rock, and basically it is just a very porous stone, which once again adds to your surface area so your beneficial bacteria has more room to grow. The more beneficial bacteria that is in the tank, the better it is, in my opinion. Another common type of substrate that's used is sand. The sand comes in all different sizes. I prefer the smallest granules that I can find. There's two reasons why I prefer sand. The number one reason is the sand adds surface area to your tank for beneficial bacteria to grow on. The second reason why I like sand is it kind of gives you the same benefit of a bare bottom tank, because once your sand is compacted and settled in there, you can go in with a small siphon hose and you can directly take the trash out. You can see it. And I'll show you here in the next clip what I'm talking about. This tank hasn't been really cleaned in a couple of days, so I'll use this. As you can see on the bottom, all the detritus and whatnot left over inside the tank. So you can just take a small tube, a small siphon hose, start a siphon, and you can target. And you can pull out exactly what you're wanting to from the very top of the sand. I'm just going to clean this one little area right here. Now you will take some sand out, but you can always just wash the sand, rinse it in good old tank water, and put it back in there. So you can see the center of that is cleaner than the rest. So as you can see, there's a visible benefit to having the sand on the bottom of your tank. Once again, you will lose some. You have to replace it as it goes. And to me, that's just the easiest way. Once again, you have the surface area for the beneficial bacteria to grow on, and you also have the benefit of a bare bottom tank, to target the detritus and get it out of the water column before it becomes a problem. Okay, so I would like to explain my logic using this whiteboard. Let's say that this whiteboard is your fish tank, and you had it running for a while. So let's assign your bacterial colony a value. Let's give it a value of, let's say, 20. Now, of course, these numbers are just arbitrary. They don't really mean anything. But let's just say your beneficial bacteria equals 20. Well, let's say that you put a fish in there, or two, and you're feeding every day. And the amount of waste that they make, let's give that a value as well. Let's say that they make enough waste to a value of, let's say, 10. So you got a value of 10 waste going into a tank that can actually handle a value of 20 nitrogen cycle. It breaks down that much waste. So as long as you have a smaller number of waste and a larger number of beneficial bacteria, your nitrate and your ammonia and all that good stuff stays low. Okay, let's say on the other hand, you have a tank who has a beneficial bacterial colony of a value of 20, and you have the value of 10 waste going into the tank. Well, let's say you add 2 more, and that will equal 10 also. So 10, 10. So you got an amount of 20 waste going into your tank, and your beneficial bacterial colony can handle a value of 20 waste. So this is pretty much a balanced system. So what happens a lot of times is people have their tanks and they're doing good. The first thing they want to do is go out to the fish store and buy another fish, which of course, who doesn't want to buy more fish? So they add 2 more. And it equals 10. Now your bacterial colony, or your waste production has a value of 30, and your tank only has a value of 20. When you have this happen, you have an unbalance in your tank. So what will happen if this is higher than this, you will start getting more algae, you'll get ammonia readings and nitrate readings. Not so much nitrite, because once your tank fully cycles one time, you really shouldn't see nitrite again. So let's say that this is what's going on in your tank, and you have ammonia and you have high nitrate. First thing to do is start doing water changes. I'm not really going into how much water changes you should do. There's plenty of videos on how to safely do water changes, but just start doing more frequent water changes. And then what happens is this number will start getting taken out. It will start being taken out of the system, and your beneficial bacterial colony will grow a little bit, possibly if it has enough surface area. And once that happens, you got to figure out what you're going to do, because you have to have more beneficial bacteria to sustain the life in that tank. So how can you do that? I'm going to go over a couple of products and kind of tell you all what I do, and I'll be back in a moment. Alright, so now you're at a point where you realize your tank is in an imbalance, so you need to get it back into balance. One thing you can do is feed less. Another thing you can do is maybe remove some fish. The third thing that you can do is add beneficial bacterial surface. Now, of course, this is not a plug for CChem. I use CChem, but every manufacturer, every company has these types of products. You just kind of have to find out what product that is from the other companies. So the first thing that I do, if I'm doing maintenance on the tank and I realize, hey, I can't get this nitrate to come down, I'm doing 50% water changes on a regular basis. The first thing that I do is I put in a matrix. I will put it either in a bag and bury it in a substrate. Some people will put it in canister filters. Some people will put it in the backpack filters, which you have to kind of clean it more if it's in a backpack filter. But long story short, matrix is literally just a very porous stone. And some of them actually even float for a while because it takes a while for it to get saturated before they sink. But each stone adds surface area. So there's more beneficial, or more room for your beneficial bacterial colony to grow. So after I do that, and I realize that, hey, my bacterial colony is not where it needs to be yet, so my tank is still producing ammonia and nitrate, which is not really great for your fish. I dose prime every 24 hours. And what that does, prime will detoxify ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. So even if you have like a new tank and you put fish in too soon, and it's going through a cycle, you can use that and it will help alleviate the stress off of the fish. That's one reason why I like prime so much, because it is not only a water conditioner, it detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate. So I'll do that just to kind of make sure that the fish are, going to be okay. And the third thing I'll do is I'll add a product of beneficial bacteria. There's all kinds of them. Stability, there's seed, there's quick start. I could sit here and just make a list of them. And I have seen these things work. I have seen these the beneficial bacteria really knock in the bottles, knock numbers back to where they need to be. So really the whole thing is finding that balance in your tank. If you have too much going on in your tank that the ecosystem itself cannot handle, you're going to have problems. So you want your ammonia down, you want your nitrite nothing, and you want your nitrate as low as possible. You don't want it at zero though, because tanks do better with a little bit of nitrate in it. Thank y'all for sticking to the end. If you haven't hit the like button or the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down in the comments section. If I'm wrong about anything that I've said, enlighten me. I'm always willing to learn. And remember, healthy fish live in a healthy tank. Thank y'all for watching.